All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. All right, all blessings, honor, glory, and power be unto the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, our Lord and our Savior, whose name is Yahweh Shai. And double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who taught me his truth, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Amon Gabar, and I'm back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying, straight to the point. And the title of this video is "This is the mindset of our people when shit hit the fan." And people are talking about this all over social media. All right, again, this is the mindset of our people when shit hit the fan. And people are talking about this all over social media. And what am I talking about? Excuse me. I seen a video uploaded yesterday, which through the spirit, I actually was doing it in transit this morning, as I would normally do through the spirit on this topic. But a whole lot of obstacles was in the way. One, it was the audio wasn't even recording. Two, I was getting phone calls from the job and shit. So I was like, man, that's Satan. So it is what it is. So right now, Lord willing, I'm gonna which is, everything is spiritual. This is better to do it this way anyway. So I could actually be in a more controlled environment, so to speak. But I'm gonna play this video that I'm referring to, and I want y'all to watch. It's like a 5-minute video one of the brothers put up. The Hopeful Elect 3, all right, which he uploads informative videos, from wherever he get them from, maybe social media, maybe this place, that place, and he brings it here to the YouTube and for the edification of the body. So I'm gonna play that video. But before I start, the mindset of our people when shit hit the fan is gonna get them killed. All right, the mindset of the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which include men, women, and children, old people, young people, all types of people. Israelite foreigners, part of 2/3, all types of people that are Israelites, all right? Whether they look like Jake or not, whether they old, young, whatever, it doesn't matter. If they part of the Israelites and they of the 2/3, and then they set up for destruction, especially with the mindset that they'll be rolling into during the time of Jacob's trouble. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. And as you see in the subheading down there on the left of the screen, it says shit hitting the fan is imminent. All right, shit hitting the fan is imminent. When you look up the word imminent, it means ready to take place. Imminent means ready to take place or happening soon. So shit hitting the fan is getting ready to happen soon. All right, and is often used of something bad or dangerous, seen as menacingly near. Menacingly near. So often uses something bad or dangerous. Matter of fact, I got my got a couple sources of scriptures in front of me. I also got the blue letter on the laptop. But let me see something real quick. Scriptures talk about perils, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 6. Matter of fact, 5, it says, the whole chapter is good, but I'm gonna start down a little bit. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end. And the end is manifest. So all that is made in the world have a beginning. Everything has an origin, everything has a beginning, a Genesis. And it also has an ending. And the end is manifest. So the end is revealed. The end is manifest before it even happens. So before the end comes, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua would do what? Send his prophets to declare the end, declaring the end from the beginning, like the scriptures tell us. So it says, even so, the time also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works and ending in effects and signs. So there's going to be signs indicating the end of this world. All right. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. So there's going to be signs all over the place, and we are definitely witnessing the signs. If you are spiritually awoken, all right, to this truth, you should see and will see the signs. All right. It says, verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land. So perils, all right, going back to this definition for the word imminent, when you go into the word perils, it means extremely dangerous. All right, extremely dangerous. So each and every last one of us believers, I'm talking about, we're gonna pass through dangerous settings and environmental chaos. All right, so to speak. We're gonna pass through it. We're gonna see it. We're gonna witness it. We're gonna encounter it. And why are we here? The reason why we're here is to be delivered from it. You know, like some guys on the job was talking today, Bible talk and whatever. I'm just listening, playing stupid, of course. They was talking about what is it? They was talking about the rapture. So I'm playing simple. Like, what you mean by that? What's that? What is that? And they talking about was when during the tribulation time, everybody, they really was explaining this shit like if they was on to something. Like they was really putting me on game or something. So dude talking about, yeah, it's the time when Jesus comes and during the 7-year tribulation, and then your clothing is still gonna be there, and then your body's just gonna disappear, and then you're gonna escape all the destruction and wrath that's coming. And I'm like, oh yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's some heavy stuff right there you're talking about, bro. That was my response, just listening to these people. But they don't realize that they're gonna be the ones to pass through, and that's gonna go through and have to deal with the imminent dangers, all right, in perilous times. Scriptures talk about many of them that be born, are born in vain. A brother could put that up there, Baba Kashab. A lot of these people are born in vain. They born just to be put to death. So I was literally just listening to the Walking Dead talk. In my mind, I know better. So I'm like, let them say what they're gonna say, and little that they know, they about to die in this coming calamity, this perilous times. So anyway, and everyone that shall be saved, which are the elect, all right, the hopefully elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works. These are the brothers that are gonna escape by their works, and some of you sisters out there too. All right, your works and believing in this truth, because you're not a prophet. You don't go out there and prophesy and put up these videos. That's not your lot in doing the works. Your works, if you're married, your works is to attend and serve your husband. If you're not, your job is to aid the ministry somehow in any way you can, and use your skill set, in righteousness to help the church or whatever. So that's all part of your works and your faith and believing, right? So it says, and by faith. So work and faith go together, whereby you have believed, because, the times are coming where, everything that we've been doing in this world, we're going to have to give account for it, whether it be righteousness or whether it be sin, folly, wickedness. So Lord willing, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he winks at our folly, winks at our sins, and covers us completely so that we can pass over, all right, pass through, pass over, overcome, persevere through the dangerous times that are getting ready to come. Because the video I'm going to play, Jake don't have a clue what's getting ready to go down. They don't have a clue. They're very naive. They don't have a clue, and they don't want to know. They don't want to know. We could tell them straight up, listen, the Bible says this about that and that about this. Then they're going to go about their ways. They're going to go about their ways. Jake, saying close but no cigar, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell that means. But yeah, I remember hearing it, close but no cigar. But these people, they're close, but they just ain't got it all the way. So the righteous shall be preserved from the said perils, which means dangerous times, which are indeed imminent. It says, and shall see my salvation in my land, which is amongst the Israelites, Yasha Allah. It says, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So the elect was sanctified, made holy and separate since the beginning. All right. And that's why the elect will be called in these latter days to wake up from slumber, to wake up from sleep, that deep sleep, and put on this whole truth. And the prophets would teach, and the rest of the elect would hear and take heed and believe. Why? To escape the coming dangers. So shit is about to hit the fan. It's about to get real drastic out here. And then let me read verse 9. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. So rightfully so, when we say 2/3 are going to catch a bad one, and like these people talking on my job, which you know they from what I see, spiritually they Edomites. You know what I'm saying? Not spiritual Edomites, but my spirit tells me that they're Edomites. That's what I mean when I say that. So Esau in the job talking about rapture this, rapture that. And in my mind, man, you about to die, bro. You don't even know it. You could talk all of that talk, but you about to croak. So the Israelites, the 2/3, this is mainly talking about them. They shall be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. Esau abused the ways of the Most High too. First of all, you the main one that did that. You know what I'm saying? But then you got Israelites that are following after Satan, following after Esau, Edom, and surpassing the wicked. So they're gonna get beaten with more stripes because they ought to know better. You know what I'm saying? And Jake been wicked in all captivities, not just the Edomite captivity, all captivities. Jake have been wicked and going off. So Jake they're gonna be held accountable for their abusive ways towards the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because it's always been the case with 2/3 in every kingdom, in every captivity. I mean, in the end, the scriptures tell us that when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increase, and the wicked is talking about Esau, Edom. So because this man is multiplied, especially during the time of the Greeks, his first, prominent empire, this man spread his wickedness spread through his generals and then their offsprings, and then he came back, through the Romans, and same thing, picked up the ways of the Greeks, the Greco-Roman Empire, and that spread, that wickedness spread like wildfire. They got put out for a little season, the Dark Ages, and they re-emerged during the time of the Renaissance period around the 1300s. And here they are today, thriving and priding as a so-called white man, which they are the Edomites, that the Bible speak of. But here they are, and then Jake and all them captivities wanted to be like them, and to this very day. So then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. So that's the judgment for the 2/3 at the end of the day. And the video that I'm gonna show you on the screen right here it's entitled. Let me share that screen real quick. Just let me make sure y'all can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see it now. So desperate times will call for desperate measures. Before I get that, I believe I called for a precept earlier. And Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, to the Lord's elect, to you brothers out there, to the hopeful elect, and you few sincere sisters out there, Shalom to you. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna jump straight to the point. But young Yasharala put it up, 2nd Ezra 9:22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. Vain is something that's empty. Their existence is empty. These people, you always talk to them, they always talk about they feel so empty inside. We don't feel empty inside. We fill with the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So ain't no Israelite that know this truth should be talking about they feel empty inside. We're filled with the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, this living water, this truth, this all the foods, and the bread of life, and everything that the Lord compares this spirit to, like unto. We're filled with that. King David, he said, "What his cup runneth over." All right, something that's vain is empty. All right, so that they empty inside, and that's why they're searching endlessly for a purpose, even though we tell them what their purpose is, to fear the Most High, to keep His commandments, and to serve Him. They still decide to be lost in the sauce, but it's not a decision they came up with on their own. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he blinded them, so they ain't gonna get it. GMS Alin 144 vain means empty, worthless, or lacking substance. You see? So that's the 2/3. They're born, they were born empty. They were born with emptiness. They were born worthless. They were born lacking substance. What is the substance that we have? This truth. All right, the oil, the understanding, this word, this precious word. The scriptures say that this truth was given unto us in earthen vessels. All right, in earthen vessels. So we're filled. Our vessels are filled with this truth, but their vessels are empty. You know what I'm saying? Their vessels are empty. So, excuse me. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, which that's the 2/3 and the rest of these heathens. It says, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. So the grape, when you read up, which hold on, let me, you know what? I'm gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna start at verse 20. Verse 20, it says, Second Ezra 9 and 20. It says, so I considered the world, and behold, there was peril. Peril means danger. All right. There were dangerous times, dangerous things, evil. It says, because of the devices that were come into it. What came into the world? Sin. All right. Sin upon sin, iniquity. Okay. And the scriptures tell us, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's why, see, once you implement the law, statute, and commandments of the Most High, it is going to be love. Love will exist. When I say love, I mean the civil treatment that we have towards each other, that Israelites and all of that. It's going to be implemented. The kingdom is we going to see what true love is. Of course, love is keeping the commandments of the Most High, which we're going to keep that, and we're going to be righteous towards each other. But the devices and the evil that came into this world, it brought perils. And that's why, again, because iniquity shall abound, that's written in the book of Matthew, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So the further away people depart from the Most High, the more evil they become towards each other. You know what I'm saying? The more evil things they do with no sense of remorse, no sense of having no sense of empathy towards an individual or none of that. It's just straight cold. And the word cold, when you go into it, wax cold, I believe the word is psycho or psychos, which mean their mind. Psycho is the mind, so they're gonna lose their mind. The Lord's giving them over to a reprobate, evil spirit. So verse 21 says, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. That's the elect, the 144,000 men, the prophets, and the rest of the 1/3. That's talking about the remnant, the grape of the cluster. It made me think about the law. When you glean in the grapes, you leave back some grapes for as a welfare system for a poor man or woman or family that may be trodden past a vineyard or grape field or whatnot. You don't strip every last single grape. You leave some behind. If some fall, you leave it, so that if somebody is homeless and hungry, they walk by and they see it and they're like, oh yes, thank you, Lord. The Wadi Yalbashim, I got some grapes. I ate for the day. So the Lord kept back a grape of the cluster, and we are here for the poor. We are here for the poor in spirit, the needy in spirit. We're here for those people. We are here for the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Forget about, these cats that are milking the poor. It is you poor already, and these cats are milking you. These fake leaders are milking you for every last dime. Every high holy day is a payment system required to partake. Like, come on, bro. But we're the bums. Well, then, whatever. It says, and have kept a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. And then it says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. So the Lord took care of his elect, like a vineyard. You read about that in the scriptures. Let me see, pull it up real quick. Hold on. This is well, you could read about it. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But in the 5th chapter of Isaiah, the Most High is talking about his vineyard. And I know somewhere in there it talks about what else could have happened to my vineyard, you know. Which is a good chapter to read. But yeah, the Lord likened us unto a vineyard, you know, a beautiful vineyard, and he dressed it, he took care of it. You know what I'm saying? But then Jake went off, became wild grapes and all that, and just, you know, just went left. And the Lord just left it alone, and the vineyard became full of thorns and briars and just not taken care of, which is representing of, you know, us going into captivity, losing our identity. But with all that being said, the Lord kept back a cluster. He have a reserve on deck, and that reserve is the elect. So that's it right there. Let me finally get to this video right here. So I just want to make sure you can hear it. All right. Let me know if you can hear it. The water.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if we don't have food on these shelves in 2 weeks, it's not gonna be good. Crime rate is going to go to an all-time high. It is going to be horrible. If people have to travel hours and hours and hours to go find a location that has food on the shelves, they're going to be pissed. Listen, the YNs are going to come out of the woodworks. And they're gonna be coming, and it's gonna be horrible. Everybody, not just them, everybody. Okay, because if I don't have no food to feed my children, and I'm speaking of just any person. Okay, if I don't have food to feed my children, I'm gonna figure out how to get it. Okay, and I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get it good. Okay, so this is not going to be good. People in my videos are like, I'm just gonna steal. If
I'm gonna pause it real quick, man, because here it is. She talking about I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna get it good. This is what I mean. The mindset. This is the mindset of our people when shit hit the fan. People all over social media talking about this. That's the title of the video. But this is the mindset. You know, I'm gonna get it. How you gonna get it? She thinks she gonna get it. You get what? You see what I'm saying? She thinks she gonna get it. You ain't seen nothing yet. There's a couple more clips following this first clip right here. But she thinks she gonna get it. You gonna get it all right, but not food for your kids. You gonna get something else. All right. Why? Because let the multitude of them that be born in vain. I mean, perish. Salaki. Let the multitude of them that be born, all right, perish. You know, roughly paraphrased, and I just read it. You know what I'm saying? This is a prime example. You know what I'm saying? Because one, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to say you gonna get it? You don't understand what's about to go down. You think this is just something you probably took a couple target practices at a range or some shit. You know, got a pink pistol hiding under your pillow, and somehow you think you ready. You know, you think you're ready for this, but you don't have a clue. You know, let this serve as a message to all you women out there that are in this mindset that when shit hit the fan, that you're gonna go out there and get it. You're gonna get got. I promise you that you're gonna get got. How many times we got to go through the scriptures and the precepts, letting you know your place when this time of judgment come, and what type of person you should be when this time of judgment come. You know, the scriptures say that. Matter of fact, in Lamentations, I think I got it pulled up over here in the 4th chapter. Let me see. Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Nah, it's not on this. Let me get it though. Lamentation chapter 4. And this video, I'm also going to post the link. I'm going to post the link in the description box so you can go watch it for yourself. Because I probably, if you want to watch it straight through, you know, just whatever. I got you. I'll put it up in there. So this is Lamentations 4 and 9. The point is intent, but she mentioned she got children. This happened. This is written historical account during the time of the siege of our people. All right. And this happened on multiple occasions, and it all had to do with famine. So this is Lamentations 4 and 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. In other words, it's better to die with the sword than to die of hunger. It's better to die in the chaos, the coming chaos, Egyptian against Egyptian, swords in their hand. It's better to die that way than to somehow stick around and remain just to starve to death. It says, for these pine away, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. Meaning what? They pine away, they waste away, they go through the process of starvation. All right. So they pine away, they waste away, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. Meaning, what's the fruits of the field? The food. All right, food. Okay, the food supply. All right. And what this is talking about is they're gonna go into it, but they saying that the shipping containers and the docks and the ports, some of the videos go into it, and I looked it up in the news. The news is they downplaying it. They downplaying it. They saying, yeah, there are less containers coming in, but it's not as bad as people are saying it is. But who the hell is gonna believe mainstream media? So we have yet to see how this play out. Look it up for yourself or whatever. The videos are out there. People with their smartphones are their own news reporters nowadays. So anyway, reading on verse 10, the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. Sodden means to boil. When you sodden a pot, you soddening or you're boiling something in the pot. So the hands of the pitiful women, the scriptures say that in the Apocrypha, then shall they be in pitiful case. All right. Whoever she is or whatever, wherever, if she don't repent and the Lord don't give her a calling or wake up call, then she's gonna be considered one of the pitiful women. And she says she have kids, and they gonna that and then she gonna have to get it one way or another. You heard her. The scriptures say otherwise. I'm sure how many of these Xena the warrior princesses thought they would have gotten through during the time of 70 AD? None. I highly doubt there were any. When they seen this shit getting real, they all that whatever nonsense they were trotting about with, it came to a standstill, just like it is in Babylon. All this folly that we see happening amongst our women, is going to come to an end once it get really real. And that's the message. We've been warning you from the apostles on down for decades, and then on the YouTube, almost 2 decades, and the brothers that came in, via that internet, been warning you. All right. So the time of warning is coming to an end. And all this, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do what I got. All right. Well, cool. No problem. No problem. Let me play that back. Matter of fact, before I play it back, let me finish it off. It says, the hands of the pitiful women have sodden, aka boiled, their own children to do what? To eat it. Why? How do you know that? How do we know that? It says, they were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. They were their meat. That was your food. Your food source was children. Your food source were your own children. All right. That's in the scriptures. That's in the Bible. The book of Lamentations. What does it mean to lament? It means to cry out, to wail, to mourn, to be in a low state. This is what's coming to Babylon the Great. All right. And eventually it's got to happen. Whatever the catalyst is going to be to kick this thing off, it's going to happen. We just got to wait and see what's going to kick it off. But the point is that we paying attention to any possibility of this thing popping off at any moment. All right. So let me play that back.
Okay. So children, because, and I'm speaking of just any person. Okay. If I don't have food to feed my children, I'm going to figure out how to get it.
And obviously she don't have it, man. That's clear as day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's clear. We know a single proud, woman, black woman, Spanish woman, whatever woman, when you see one, I'm going to do it. Instead, I ain't got nothing to worry about. My husband, he got this. You hardly going to hear that coming out of these hyenas' mouths. Now I ain't gotta worry about nothing. I'm gonna have faith, and I know my husband got this. You ain't gonna hear that. I promise you, sis. You ain't got nothing. You ain't getting nothing, but you're gonna get got.
Okay, and I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get it good. Okay, so this is not going to be good. People in my videos are like, I'm just gonna steal. If the groceries and all this stuff go up, ain't no food on whatever it is. If I need it, I'm going to steal it. And I don't agree with nothing, but at this point, I'm just kind of like,
And another thing too, I'm just painting a picture or illustrating that people are hip. They're hip to something bad getting ready to happen, but their approach is all the way off. All right, they know something bad is getting ready to happen, but they don't know how bad it's gonna be and who's doing it. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know that this is the end. They don't know. Just hear them out. Listen to them and look at these people. They lost. They're empty. Look at this guy. His eyes, his soul, his spirit. He's empty. He's vain. Just look at him. Look at his eyes. Look into his soul. This dude is an empty vessel. And then when you hear what he got to say, it's just gonna prove my point. Okay, it's gonna prove my point. He's clearly, empty inside. Like they say, like I'm empty inside or whatnot. So listen to this guy.
So people talking about the ports, this crisis, right? People talking about the Great Depression part two. I feel like vulnerable homes and vulnerable people gonna get exploited. If it gets to a point where people gotta violate others, all of the weak people are done. Y'all done. I'm not even worried about no Great Depression. In fact, it might sounds fun. Sounds fun. All y'all been talking about bills? Not no more. All y'all been talking about work? Don't worry, it's coming.
See, he's pretty much mocking at it and laughing at it. He says it sounds fun. Now, hey, the Lord could use guys, lunatics like this. He could really be a lunatic, or a spirit created for vengeance. He very well could be, because listen to what he got to say. And with the spirits that are created for vengeance, that the Lord is going to use as vessels to maybe this guy wipe out the girl that you seen, the woman that you seen in the first part of the video. Maybe he going to do what he's about to say to her. That laugh and chuckle business that he got going. He gonna see Psycho, and again, the love of many wax cold. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. This is a prime example right here.
People are done. Y'all done. I'm not even worried about no Great Depression. In fact, it might sounds fun. Sounds fun. All y'all been talking about bills? Not no more. All y'all been talking about work? Don't worry, it's coming. You'll get a lot of free time to fight for your life. Some of y'all, that 9 to 5 sounded more appealing, ain't it? Yeah, look at you. But yeah, there's a word going around that the ports are empty. What's that about? No food's coming in? I always wanted to make a kidney salad. Got a couple of fat neighbors. And shout out to Hannibal Lecter. The Great Depression. Don't get me off. You're going to be greatly depressed. Me, I'm ecstatic. And I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
This is survival.
You heard him. So he was alluding to cannibalism. He said, I got some fat neighbors. Shout out to Hannibal Lecter, which is a well-known serial killer / cannibal. And that stupid laugh that he got, like he's some type of psycho and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, these people, they prophesying, their own tongues is falling against themselves. We know that's talking about Esau, Edom, but even these niggas out here, they prophesying their own demise. You got some fat neighbors, and this is all these videos because Jake is getting hipped to the fact that something catastrophic is getting ready to take place. Hey, back a couple days ago, them lights went out in the UK. You know what I'm saying, brother? We got brothers out there in the UK. Them lights went out. I believe it could have been like less than a day, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly how long. Somebody could fact check that for me, Bubba Kashah, how long the lights was out or electricity was out in the UK. But nonetheless, when the lights is out here in Babylon, man, which eventually is going to happen, these people are going to be so on edge that they're going to panic. They're going to panic. The lights may just be out for like not even a whole day. Let's say hypothetically, the lights go out for a few hours. But Jake don't know how long the light's gonna be out. All this fear mongering and lack of faith that these people have, they gonna think this is it. They're gonna think this is it, and they could very well just start bugging out and tripping out and be the reason why the military got to come in and a quick test run. Lights gonna go back on in about 3 hours. You know what I'm saying, or half a day. Niggas is gonna lose their mind. The Juice Crew, they gonna lose their mind. Lunatics like this nigga gonna lose their mind. Chicks, people like this first lady right here, lose her mind. Everything is gonna come back to haunt them. Everything that they said is gonna come back and haunt them. They're gonna think this is it. And Lord willing, when the lights do go out in Babylon, that it is it. Oh yeah, my bad. It was Spain. It wasn't it was Spain and 3 other countries. Yeah, brother put it up. Portugal, Spain, and France. The water, bro. Not the United Kingdom. Sorry about that. I meant to say Europe. I didn't mean to associate UK with the entire Europe, but yeah, the water for that. And then the elder bro said nearly 18 hours. That's almost a whole day. Shells was empty. So imagine an 18-hour blackout here in Babylon the Great. Man, you see all that psycho laughing that he's giving off? The righteous is gonna laugh like that. You know what I'm saying? He don't know why he laughing. He think he onto something, but we'll see.
Got a couple of fat neighbors. And shout out to Hannibal Lecter. The Great Depression. Don't get me off. You're going to be greatly depressed. Me, I'm ecstatic. And I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
This is survival mode right now. This is the time for you to be surviving. Food, water, things to protect your house and your home. If you don't have none of that, you are screwed. You are done. People are losing their minds. People have lost sight of life. People can't handle what's going on. People are losing it and taking other people out with them. Y'all not getting it, man. You thought shit was worse before. It's getting worse day by day, minute by minute. And let me tell you something right now. Not people are showing up to protect you or warn you, because they're heading towards the deep end just like you. You better be in survival mode, because if you're not in survival mode, you're done. That's it. A lot of people right now, they're done, and you can clearly see that.
People will tell you, oh, I would never do that. I would never do that. But get hungry. Watch your kids get hungry and see what you do. You're gonna do things that you never in a million years imagine yourself doing. And I believe the true nature of humans, men and women, will soon come out when them shelves get empty.
She ain't lying, No, honestly, she ain't told lie. That last guy ain't told lie. Even Hannibal Lecter's copycat over there, he was being honest with himself. The first one talking about she gonna get it. Yeah, you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? But point is that Jake they know some bullshit about to go down, but they not ready. They not ready. They not ready. And you know what? That's when this truth is gonna become so precious to the world. Yeah, the prophets, everybody's gonna eat, because the pastors, the churches, they gonna close the doors. The churches are gonna close their doors. They're not gonna be in there talking no so-called religious Jesus Christ and all of this bullshit. Them churches are gonna be home. The pastor gonna be sitting in his fat ass somewhere with his shotgun and his family, and killing mother effers. People gonna be running up talking about father, pastor, this, whatever, Pastor Charles. You can get shot on Pastor Charles' lawn. You know what I'm saying? So the doors are gonna be shut, for them churches, and it's gonna be true. It's truly gonna be survival of the fittest. And then that's when people are going to be seeking the prophets. They're going to be seeking the vision. They're going to be seeking the truth. But they're not going to get it, because your leaders are going to bug out. Your false leaders are going to bug out. The only ones that are going to be sane are the elect men of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. So the 2/3, they're done. So this is the last clip, and I'm going to end it and get a few precepts off the comment board, and that's that.
People will tell you, oh, I would never do that. I would never do that. But get hungry. Watch your kids get hungry and see what you do. You're gonna do things that you never in a million years imagine yourself doing. And I believe the true nature of humans, men and women, will soon come out when them shelves get empty or when they can't afford to purchase the things on them shelves. I think it's going to be rough. So we're going to have to start, I don't know, working out, exercising, really like target practice, learning how to swing that knife, whatever, if you have to. And yeah, Rover might even be a feast. You might have to make a little Rover back there into a feast. I don't know. I know I would.
I just caught that part. She said Rover back there is gonna have to be a feast. Rover, she talking about a dog. Hey, bro, listen. I just caught that. I seen this video earlier, but she said Rover back there is gonna have to be a feast. So they're gonna be eating dogs. Worse than that, they're gonna be eating other people. I got another precept. So they know, bro. And with all that being said and done, they out here talking about swinging knives. Like you think knives, learning how to use a damn switchblade or knife or pocket knife, box cutter is gonna help you? Butcher knife, any knife, man. These people don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They do not have a clue, bro. And that's that target practice shit I'm telling you about. All these women thinking that because they got a fucking pink 9mm hiding under their pillow or in their closet somewhere in their shoebox, somehow they good now. It's not the case. Hold on one second. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. Hold on. Jeremiah, chapter 17. Jeremiah 17 and 5, it says, "Thus saith the Lord." Thus saith the Lord, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord." So the point is, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Yes, thus saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and maketh flesh his arm. So if you make carnal things your power, then you're cursed. You gotta make the power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, your power. That's who our power is. That's our only source of power, especially with the times that's getting ready to come. Our only power source is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Other than that, nothing else is going to be able to help you out. Even if you got things to help you out, if it's not backed by the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, then it's in vain. Okay? Even if you got the carnal means and necessities for whatever reason and, just using wisdom or whatnot, if Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not with you, it's not going to mean a thing. It's in vain. It's empty. You just stored up for the thief and the robber to come in and get you. You know what I'm saying? So that was that point. I had another precept real quick, and then I'm going to go over to the comment section. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse 25, it says, "And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of a dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver." So a famine in Samaria got besieged, just like how America is going to get besieged. All right, to the point where an ass's head, a head of a donkey, was sold. The meat, whatever meat a head got, which a head of any animal ain't got no meat on it. That's how bad it is, to just further emphasize it. So anyway, an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. So a score is 20. So 20 times 4 is 80. All right, so 80 pieces of silver for a donkey head. And silver is real money. All right, in Hebrew, the word silver, you go into it, the word will be kasap, which is money. So that's real money. What's 80 pieces of silver? According to today's spot price for silver, I could do the quick math real quick. I think, let me say $32, unless it went down. Let me just average it off at 30. All right, 30. So that'll be $600. All right, 30. No, I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Hold on. 30 times 80. 30 times 80. If 80 pieces of silver, and in today's currency conversion would be $30. That's 80 times 30. That's $2,400 US dollars for ass's head today. If that was supposed to be today's conversion in price, if silver's at $30 for 1 troy ounce, and you require and somebody say, listen, I got Rover back here. You know, her dog name is Rover. She said Rover, right? I got Rover back here. I got Rover's head for 80 pieces of silver. In today's right now currency conversion rate, it will be $2,400 for a damn man. That's beyond ridiculous, bro. It's gonna get terrible out here. It's gonna get terrible out here. So, and that further proves that people, just because it says ass's head was 4 score pieces of silver, that don't means everybody was buying it. That don't means everybody could afford it. That ain't silver ain't cheap. You know, it's money. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like everybody was going around buying ass's head back then. How we know that? Because the next, when you read down, it's going to show you that it got bad. All right. It says in the fourth part of a cab of a dove's dung, bird shit, for 5 pieces of silver. So they you know, got a pigeon coop, bird coop going, scraping up some shit with a damn spatula and selling it for 5 pieces of silver in a Ziploc bag somewhere. That's how bad it's going to get out here, man. It says and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? If the Most High ain't gonna help you, how the hell I'm gonna help you? Like, woman, listen, woman. The Most High can't help you. How the hell I'm gonna help you? It says, out of the barn floor or out of the wine press. Well, what? What I'm gonna help you with? There ain't no food. It says, and the king said unto her, what lieth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So the woman crying was like, yo, this woman said, listen, we're going to eat my son today, and tomorrow we can eat your son. That was the deal they made. That's how bad it got. That's how bad it got. You know, women, I read it in Lamentations 4:10. You know, in the day of the desolation of my people, their children became their meat, their food. They sodden them, they boiled them. It's right here in the scriptures. And that's coming back. Rover is going to be eaten first once you can't get nothing. And then eventually your kids are going to be crying, starving, and just laying out. And, you know, like you said right here, woman, that you'd be surprised what people would do when they're forced into a situation, right? You said that. Out of your own mouth, you said that. And then you brought up Rover. Even though you probably got a plate of food sent right next to you, you still brought up Rover. You know, so people are imagining themselves in a cannibalistic situation before they even got in there. So that, listen, man, that goes to show you that when this shit really go down, these people ain't gonna think twice. For one, food became a drug, and once that drug is taken from them, they go through that withdrawal. They're gonna do anything to eat, and anything is gonna look like food. You know, crackheads smoke anything. If they can't get crack, they'll smoke anything. You ever seen a crackhead that don't smoke cigarettes? No. All right, they smoke anything. So these people that's hooked on that crack, you know, they gonna eat anything. They that food when they hooked on that food and it's taken from them, they're gonna eat anything. That drug, that food. You know, because food, it became a weapon. You so weaponized it. So anyway, reading on. So the deal they made, right? It says verse 29. So we boiled my son. So she said we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said it to her the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And this is wicked as hell. This is wicked as hell. Even the example I'm gonna give is just like, it's crazy that I got to give this example. So you eat one child one day. You would think, all right, that should be enough for at least 2 days or 3 days. Let's ration this child. They so gluttonous and fat and undisciplined and evil and wicked that they didn't even think to ration they children. I mean, I know it just sounds crazy even talking about it, but they just had a whole full course, arm, leg, thigh, head, and everything. And then the next day they ready to eat again. As wicked as it is, but it's just putting yourself in that, you know, extrapolating and putting yourself in there, like the mind of these people. So she said, we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she said, and she had hit her son. So she bamboozled her. She hit her son. She hit it like, well, you're not my son, and chances are it was probably them children probably wasn't even dead. I mean, she hit her son. Like, how do you hide a dead carcass somewhere? You can, you could hide a dead carcass, but the shit would stink and you'll be able to sniff it out and smell it somewhere and be like, now I smell that. He over here somewhere, so I don't know, just extrapolating, but either or, it doesn't matter. It was eating their kids. So it says, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. So it was bad, man. It was very, very bad, extremely bad. It was perilous times. This is a perilous times we're talking about. These are perilous times that are getting ready to come upon the planet Earth. Premeditated intentions before the perils. And that's what these people are doing. I'm a Jeffrey Dahmer, my neighbor, my fat neighbors. I'm a Jeffrey Dahmer them. She going Chung Lee Rover back there. So these people are done, bro. And that's why I titled the video, this is the mindset of our people when shit hit the fan. And people are talking about this all over social media. SM is short for social media. So, it's all over there. It's all over, the internet and videos upon videos. The brother had put this video up. So, whatever's happening, just take it with a grain of salt, so to speak. But just know that these things are written to happen, prophetically speaking, in these times. You know what I'm saying? Whether they just want to pull the plug on Babylon for a moment, just to have people scared and shook and just effed up in the head. This is Hebrews 10:31, and Yahweh Shemel Shai Barakatah to the bro Hawad. It says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hand of the living God, living power. All right. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. 100%. And that's why we, as hopeful elect members of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, doing what we need to do to not be partakers of this thing. I mean, they got this smile and smirk on their face, like if they believe in what they're saying. I mean, we got smiles and smirks on our face from time to time because we know and believe in what we're saying, and we know that the Lord got us. Scripture say I'll laugh at their calamity, but they don't know that they're about to be the calamity itself. Okay? Second Ezra 15:49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy house with destruction and death. All right? Plagues are coming to Babylon. Plagues are sent. Who shall turn them back? Widowhood. What is a widow? Widow is a woman that's lost her husband. She's without a husband. Her husband died. You ain't read about that in Second Kings. Two husbands fighting over, children, eating their kids. It's women. Scriptures say in Lamentations 4 that in the time of poverty, famine, children were their meat. Talking about the women. So a lot of men are going to die. A lot of men are going to die. There's going to be few men left, and there's going to be the elect. So it says poverty. You will own nothing and be happy. People are going to be dirt poor out here. Right now, everything you eat is a luxury, man. At some point, even at McDonald's that these people eating going to be considered a luxury. To us, it's trash, is garbage, basuda, you know what I'm saying? But like to these people, they going to miss them Mickey D's, them dollar menus and, Popeyes and KFC and all this other, nonsense and nastiness or whatever. So poverty is coming. People don't even know if they're going, what they're going to have, for dinner that night or whatnot. People are actually living out there like that. What they going to eat. Got all these kids and what they going to eat. And watch when that supplement get cut off from these women. It's going to be over. In order to have supplement to begin with, they have to kick the man out the house. Now he's out the house now. When their daddy Esau pulled the plug on them supplements, now what? It says sword and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. All that's coming. All right, death, destruction is coming to Babylon the Great. This is a good one right here. Extreme hunger in a situation where food is scarce and survival is imminent. I brought up that word imminent earlier, right? it says the threshold for considering cannibalism can be reached relatively quickly. So meaning that threshold is really not that long of a threshold. It could happen like that, you know? It can happen like that. Just the thought alone. People are premeditating cannibalism. So when there's no food for 2 days, I mean, I'm being nice, man. If there's no food for a day, people gonna be considering eating people. Or they probably gonna go to animals first and wildlife and all these fake ass Xena the warrior princesses gonna think they're gonna go deer hunting. Like if they know what time it is, they don't know. They don't have a clue how to survive in the woods and the wilderness and all of that. But anyway, once the wildlife is pretty much hard to catch and just gone, survival of the fit, and there's nothing left, not even a rat or a squirrel. Yeah, that cannibalism, that let me eat my neighbor is gonna happen real quick. It's gonna happen real quick. So I want to get like one or two more, and then I'm gonna close it out. Talking about food, all that food shit. I mean, I gotta eat for the night and call it a wrap. So let me scroll down to the bottom. People living paycheck to paycheck, bro. It's a fact. People living paycheck to paycheck and on payment plans. I think, what is it, Uber Eats or one of them joints? They got a damn pay later program now. One of them weekly installments. You go order something and then pay like quarterly. It's crazy, but that's the times we've entered. It's really blew up during the time of Bovid. All right, Bovid 19. Yup. Buy now, pay later for food. That's where we at right now in society. Daniel 12:1, salvation of the elect. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, the elect of the nation of Israel. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right, so that just goes to show and emphasize and add an insight on how bad it's going to get, that the Archangel Michael is going to have to come and intervene and step in to protect the Lord's elect in that time. It's going to be a time such as never before seen. All right, a time such as never before seen, a time of trouble, not since the beginning of a nation to this very time. So what time we talking about? We hear people on social media talking about it. They living, or they're premeditating the life that they're about to live. They're foreshadowing the life that they're about to live. This truth showing you that the Bible is true. The Bible is a true book. And, with that being said, the main thing that's going to get pushed to try to coil this thing down is going to be the MOTB, all right, which stands for the mark of the beast, which is found in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16 on down. All right, which, as we teach here at Great Millstone since the beginning, from the apostles on down, from Apostle Tar on down, since before the YouTube, and since the YouTube has been hundreds of thousands of plenty videos and breakdowns on it, back to back to back to back, and the breakdowns never changed. And the breakdown is that it is the RFID microchip that's going to be implanted. And that's another thing these guys was talking about at the job too. It was talking about it, and they got more sense than the IURC and the ISUPK and all these other groups. They were saying that, it's the mark of the beast and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Which, like I said, I wasn't really saying too much. I was just listening and doing my job and blah, 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 whatever. What the hell I'm going to say? You know what I mean? I'm talking to y'all right now. I'm talking to the Lord's sheep. They don't know that. Those that don't know that are ignorant, let them be ignorant still. But my point is that even these Edomites out here know that the MOTB is the chip, and they know not to take it. And these are a lot of them are jigs, though. You know what I'm saying? Those that are really going for them Bible belt, like the apostles call them. Them Bible belt looking Edomite cats. Some of them are jig. A lot of them Edomites too. But whatever, we'll see. You'll see when that time comes. But just know that if you don't have the covering of Yahweh Shem Yahushua at the end of the day, you're done. All right, you're absolutely done. You're finished. So anyway, shit hitting the fan is imminent. I'm gonna end it on that. I pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash that this was an edifying lesson to the Lord's elect. And hey, just keep watching. And this was a video just blowing the trumpet in Zion and sounding that alarm in the Lord's holy mountain. People all over social media talking about, there's videos of empty docks and all of this other stuff. Hey, listen, if that's going to be something, if that's going to escalate and actually be something, we know Trump and these tariffs against China and production is going to slow down. Some things, like the saying is, juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like some people be like, you know what? It ain't even worth sending and shipping this shit. Paying high taxes on a damn slinky. And some glow sticks and all this dumb made in China shit. So whatever. Once it hit the food, that's when it's a wrap. All right, that's what's really gonna get people attention. The scriptures talk about that. I ain't get it, but where it says because of the lack of bread, matter of fact, I'm gonna end it on that. I'm actually gonna end it on that. All right, that gotta come out. The Apocrypha. I'm gonna end it on this. 2nd Ezra 15 and 9. Actually, 18. 2nd Ezra 15 and 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, like the one Jeffrey Dahmer sequel, nigga. All right. Have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which is the gun, modern day sword. It says, and spoil their goods, meaning take their goods, whatever's good and valuable, they're going to take it because of the lack of bread, because of the food shortage. So what's going to, according to the scripture, what's going to really get shit crazy and popping is going to be the lack of bread. That's going to be the thing that's going to drive people to the brink of insanity. All right. The lack of bread. That's when no pity, no love, no empathy, no anything is going to cease to exist. Why? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, the great trouble in which Michael the archangel will have to stand up for the Lord's elect during these times. So with that, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Baraka Thumb to the Lord's elect. All right. The 144,000 men and the rest of the 1/3 and the remnant throughout the four corners of the earth. So Lord willing, I say till next time, Shalom.